Be Yourself, a podcast with Ian O'Connell. Inspiring stories, great interviews.
Hello, my name is Ian O'Connell and welcome to the Be Yourself podcast episode 3. In this episode you will hear a recent interview I done with Brenda Donoghue from RTE. But right now I am in Killarney Community College giving a talk about suicide, depression and how to stay resilient.
Thanks everyone. I was trying to start by saying thanks to be asked to speak here today. And I was trying to say, it's been hard week for you with the passing of Camilla, and may she rest in peace. So, I don't know if some people have heard my story already. Basically, it'll be 2 years in August. I was out cycling and I fell, which resulted in me left paralysed from the neck down. I got bleeds to the brain, collapsed lung, severed spinal cord, and 4 broken bones in my neck. So, the message I really want to get out today is saying that, as we've given out already this morning, it's okay to ask for help. And I'm not afraid of the problems with my disability. I'm more looking forward to possibilities. You know, I remember one day I was inside the hospital, and I'm always happy and stuff, but when I hit bottom, I hit rock bottom, there's not one person in the room here today that doesn't hit rock bottom sometimes. It's part of life, and it's going to happen. And I remember it was a few days after I was in intensive care after the operation. I was looking on the wall of my mom put pictures of me. There was a picture of me playing football, and I just started crying. It's okay to have a good cry, even some people don't like to say it, but it's okay. I remember then about 3 months later, I was in the back for 5 months. About 3 months later, I was awake one night. I just couldn't sleep. I just started talking to myself. And I remember just visualising. I'd always been visualising. I was looking at my finger, seeing where it moved. My phone was stuck and it moved. But I remember it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I saw a little flicker in my left bicep. And from then on, I just kept tensing my biceps. I know bodybuilder or anything, but that flicker brought on a lot of hope for me. Anyway, that was one night in hospital, and I remember after the nurse was telling me the extent of my injuries, I was like, this isn't how my life is going to end. I broke 4 bones in my neck. If I had broken the bone above the bone that I broke, I'd have been killed on the spot, which is crazy to think. Whatever situation you're in, there's always going to be someone out there that's in a worse place than you. A lot of people as well ask me how I coped in hospital, and the people that I've had there to support me since day one, that's the main reason, and how I cope. Friends and family have been so good, and I'm trying to get back to them now as much as they gave to me throughout 9 months in hospital. Like I say, crying won't. Crying won't make me stand up and run around again. It was the cards that I was dealt, so I'm just trying to make the best of that situation. And I know that I'll probably be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, but I'm not scared of that, It's a new life. But hopefully I'll get movement back. When I was in the matter, I could only move my eyeballs, not even my neck. And now I'm able to lift 2 kg with my left hand. I remember that. As well, my biggest accomplishment was I was ventilated for a month. I was ventilated for about 2 months, which basically there was a tracheostomy in my neck, and I was breathing through the machine. And I was told that I'd be on that for the rest of my life. 80 days I took my first breath of fresh air, so I always say to myself, because the best thing about a disability is you always have something new that you're learning about yourself and about the disability. Like I suffer from neuropathic pain, which is basically when I fell, my spinal cord was severed, the bone cut through the spinal cord. So that means the messages don't go to the other parts of my body. Like when I need something to scratch my head, I'd ask them, and then be like, even Darren, can you scratch my head? At least 50 times a day. It's a scary feeling, like when I fell, when I went to get up again, you can't move. My 4 best friends that day were with me. Even they've been so good as well, they've been there since I fell. But when I get something to scratch my head, I'd be like, bit to the left, bit to the right. And trust me, when they hit that spot, it's better than winning the lottery. So, like, I'm always learning something new about myself. And there's obstacles, like, even people suffering from depression, there's always going to be obstacles in life. Like, they're putting their way, to see if what they're fighting for is really worth fighting for. And I've come across a lot of obstacles. Some I've overcome, some I haven't. Yeah, battling with depression. There's so many people out there that, even on my Instagram, the old people that text me saying, look Ian, I'm suffering from depression, what can I do? Like, I always say to them, they've taken the first step away and asking me for help. That's the first step in asking for help, is telling someone that you are suffering from depression and not being ashamed of it, because it's a mental illness and like, you can't do anything about it. The rest, as the men said here before me, the first person you talk to in the morning is yourself. Like, you talk to yourself more than you actually think. Like, how you get up in the morning and start your day, it's how you're going to live the rest of your day. How you get up in the morning and say, right, I'm going to make this day like it's my last day. Your hate can be either your best friend or your worst enemy. Like, you can't always believe the thoughts that are going through your head, because life is a bitch and nobody will say it isn't, because it is, but like, you just have to be tougher. I've been offered a lot of opportunities since my accident. Like, I remember lying on the ground that day looking up, saying, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I'm going to have someone, like all there on my hands and legs. I'm going to have someone with me 24/7. Like, I'm just going to be useless. But like, I don't know if I did not think I would be where I am today. Like, the opportunities have led to me doing more stuff than I would have accomplished as an able-bodied person running around. Like, I don't think I'd be where I am today. Failures it's a massive part of life as well. Like, we learn from failure, not from winning. When I try lifting weights, some days I can lift my hand to my nose, some days I can lift an inch off my lap. But failure is how we learn, and that's how we grow. So you just have to show, as I said, my friends and family and everyone, they've been there since day one, so you have to show respect and just to be there for those who are there for you. And that's my message here really. So, as they said, it's okay not to be okay. And I just want to mention the person out there. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but I won a Killarney achievement the weekend, and Diane Collins down there, she told me not to mention her, so as I can. So thanks very much for getting me to speak today, and I hope Brenda stays out of her cycle, and thanks again, so.
First of all, are you aware that, I suppose through your podcast and the Late Late Show, just how you've carried yourself and been yourself since the accident, how you've inspired so many people?
Yeah, I suppose after Late, kind of took off. And like, I suppose I just, after the accident, I decided, I can either stay in a room now or let it beat me down. But I said, carry on, and, the messages and feedback I'm getting as well, that kind of keeps me going, that I'm helping people. So, just try my best every day.
Can I go back to before the accident? Tell me a little bit about you and your hobbies and how you spent your time.
I suppose I was just a normal 60, it was 2 days after my birthday, so I was just turned 16, and I was just a normal 16-year-old playing sport, hurling, football, rugby, soccer.
Which was your favourite?
So football is always my favourite, then hurling, I suppose. But yeah, just a normal 16-year-old, just going to TY before the accident, just getting out with friends and going out on cycles and being a normal 16-year-old.
Were you a bit of a pain at times?
Alright, sometimes
I doubt it. I doubt
sometimes.
it. So 2 days after your 16th birthday,
Yeah.
your friend knocks on the door and says...
No, it was a phone call I got.
It was a phone call?
Phone call, yeah. Got a phone call saying, would I like to go up to the house? Because there was other friends over there. And I was just after coming home from town after buying a game for my PlayStation. And I said no at first. And then as time went on, I kind of got bored of playing the game. And so I'd go up. And then one thing kind of led to another, and we decided to hop on our bikes like we did every other day. We went off to the national park for a cycle.
And what a lovely, lovely location
Yeah.
to cycle.
We'd have gone there every day during the summer.
Yeah. It sounds very much a kind of a carefree, fun summer.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was that day, was it?
Yeah, like a lot of people said to me, someone robbing a bank, something like this wouldn't happen to them. But then someone just going out, minding their own business. But look, it was the cards I was dealt with, so...
So what happened that day in the park?
We were going down a path we used to go down every day. And there was a hill kind of off to the right of the cycling path. And basically, it was a hill we've gone down 20 times a day. And we were going out, we went down the hill, and I was kind of behind, I was still on the path. And next thing I was going down, and just before I met it, there was a log, and it was after overgrowing with grass. My front wheel hit the log, and it put me about 7 feet over the handlebars. And all I remember was landing kind of on my neck and on tops of my shoulders, and just hearing a big crack. And then when I hit the ground, I knew something. The second I hit the ground, I knew something was wrong. My body just felt lifeless, and like it's a scary feeling, falling and going to get up and say, "Oh, can't get up." You have to experience it to know.
You didn't lose consciousness?
Yeah, no, I stayed conscious
so you were
during
aware,
the whole time, yeah.
Mm.
And at the start, the friends obviously didn't realise how serious it was. And I kind of said, after a few minutes then, they said, there is something wrong here with Ian, because I wasn't reacting and stuff. But I just told them ring the ambulance.
Sorry, do you want a drink?
No.
Yeah.
I just told them ring the ambulance. And I said not to touch me. Because I said I'd wait till the experts came. So they said that was the most wisest thing I could have done, because I could have made it 100 times worse if they had touched me.
Where'd you get the presence of mind to say, don't touch me, call an ambulance?
Was
it from watching TV dramas? Was it just something you knew instinctively?
It was just the first thing that came to mind. I suppose when I couldn't move, I said, Geez, don't touch me, or
Had you gone into survival mode, do you think?
yeah, like I know as bad as it sounds, but I thought I was finished that day. I just looked up and I just said a prayer, and I noticed my breathing starting to go, and I told them like it was I broke my C3, 4, 5 and 6, but the level of injury was C4. That's where the spinal cord was cut, and they said if I had broken the vertebrae above the one I broke, that they'd have had to start at CPR there and then. So I was very lucky.
And the ambulance came, and your mum and everybody came.
Yeah.
Can you remember all that? Were you still conscious?
I was still conscious, but like I was just looking up at the sky.
Yeah.
There was people around me, and I was trying to see who was behind me. And I just remember them coming down, kneeling down beside me in their bright yellow jackets. Like it was like something from a movie, you know. They were introducing themselves to me, and they put me on a spinal board, stabilised my neck. The neck brace was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever experienced. Like even in hospital, it was, you know, you sweat under it. I'd be saying, can you put a straw down there to itch? But they couldn't do anything in case they moved my neck.
Were you in pain immediately, or was it delayed?
There was no pain, not one bit of pain. I thought what it felt like is my two collarbones. It felt like my two collarbones had come out through my skin. It wasn't sore, but it was just, you know, the feeling. But there was no pain. The only thing now after the accident is neuropathic pain. I suffer from a lot. Like when I was in the Mater Hospital, you couldn't, like a feather. It was just crazy.
Can you explain to people what neuropathic pain is?
The best way I always describe it is if you put your hand down flat on grit, you know, like gravel, and someone stands on it, and then they pull it along. It's that burning pain. Like I have it now, I have it 24/7, but I've just kind of learned to live with it. But at times it gets worse, and when it gets worse, it gets very bad. Like when they were doing sensory kind of things in the rehab with it, if they rubbed a feather on it, it would drive me mad. And if they rubbed sandpaper, it wouldn't be sore. It's a light touch.
When you were in hospital, you went to Tralee first.
I went to Tralee for 10 days, yeah.
And when did they tell you how serious it was?
I suppose when I went to Tralee, it just seemed like endless MRIs, X-rays, everything. Then I'd say it was about the second, third day. Came down, he told me the extent. Like
The doctor?
Yeah, the doctor.
Was he nice?
Or he was. I felt like giving me a headbutt when he told me. But he just told me the extent I had developed a collapsed lung as well. I suffered a bleed to the brain. Thank God all of them they're all
They've
fixed.
resolved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And when everybody went away and you were on your own and you were trying to, I suppose, comprehend this news, how did you do that and then come out the other side with that beautiful smile?
I don't know.
See, there it is.
Tell the girls it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I will.
But I suppose I didn't know the extent of the injury. Do you know, obviously, I didn't know anything about spinal injuries then. But as time went on and they gave me more kind of detail into what happened, when they were saying how bad it was, I just said, look, just have to roll with the punches, like, and see what progress I make and how I'll progress and what will happen. So I'm just taking one day at a time.
To have that attitude is very mature as well as inspiring. Where did that come from? Did that come from yourself, obviously, but the community, your parents? Where do you feel
I suppose
you got your positive attitude from?
My parents, anyway. Like, my mum was up by my bedside for 9 months while I was in hospital. Like, you know, that's just, it's just so, you know, it helps so much, like, just to know someone's by your side. And like, my dad was down here working during the week. he'd come up on Friday then on the train. He'd stay till Sunday night. And then I suppose it started with my GA club, Spa GA. They started like a fundraiser, hoping to make, I suppose, a few thousand. Then it went up and up and up, and it kept going up. Then other people started getting involved. There was quiz nights, there was, bingo. They're all putting their funds to my fund then. And then the big thing then was the Ring of Kerry, the cycle. You've probably heard of it, have you?
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Haven't done it, but I have heard of it.
Next year.
Next year.
But no, the Ring of Kerry was a massive thing. Like, I was made one of the main beneficiaries for it, and that just took off as well. And there was the GA Golf Challenge. That was another massive one. That was sponsored by KN, and they gave me my wheelchair accessible van outside. I'll take you for a spin in it later.
Oh no, promises.
Promises. But they gave that to the family, and they help someone every year.
Yeah.
And like the van, we just bought a van when we came out, only worth a few thousand, but it kept me on from A to B. But like this one now, it's so much comfier, going over bumps. It's a way more support for my neck, and it's unreal the support like that's been there. I wouldn't be this positive without the support, knowing people are there behind me.
When you're in the hospital and you were 9 months between the hospital and rehab, you got on very well with some of the nurses, is that right?
I did.
Yeah.
So I was in the matter. I know as bad as it sounds, but like, I enjoyed my time in the matter. Like the people I met there, the nurses, like some of the nurses I met there, they're living in Australia now, and they were home for Christmas. They came down here to me to visit me, and it was just the crack I had as well. Like you kind of have to have fun during it, or it's going to be hell otherwise. So I just made the best out of a bad situation.
When you came home, what was that like? Was that a great feeling, or did you say, "Oh my God, I'm coming home in a wheelchair"? What was going on in your head?
There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot. I was coming into Killarney. You probably know yourself, after you come down from Tralee, you can see over Killarney coming in. But it was a vision in my head I saw for a long time. And I wasn't nervous coming home in a wheelchair either. I thought I would be. Then when I came home and I started meeting everyone and going places around Killarney and seeing where I grew up after being away for almost a year, it was a crazy feeling.
Sometimes, when you're away from people, friends and family, and then you come back, and then to bear in mind that you were coming back having experienced something they'll never experience, hopefully, in terms of being in hospital and all of that. You make strange with people.
Yeah.
Did you click back in all your friends and family straight away?
More or less, yeah. Like, obviously the friends at the start, they were like, geez, there's Ian. Last time I saw him, he was 6'1". Now he's 2 foot nothing, But no, we kind of clicked straight away. And like the family as well had a bit of a homecoming. Went up my J club as well, Spa. They had a homecoming and all the friends went up there. They had food and pizza, and they just kind of welcomed me in well. And that helped as well, obviously, just knowing that everyone's still there for me and they'll be still there for me all, hopefully.
So you settled back in home.
Yeah.
And then you appeared on the Late Late Show.
Yeah.
And you've become a celebrity in your own right. Tell me about going on to the Late Late Show and that whole experience.
It's crazy. Like, it's hard to describe the experience you have. Like when I went up, I remember going up that day, and Ryan rang me going up in the car. I answered, and he was like, "Ian, it's Ryan." And I was like, it kind of blew me away that I was actually even talking to him. Don't mind being up there, but when I went up there, he made me feel so welcoming as well. he sat down beside me, you know, he kind of threw himself back in the chair. He was just so nice. And I actually met him about 2 months after the Late Late. I met him in, you know, Barack Obama's plaza on the way down, and he spotted me and he came over with his Supermax. But no, the Late Late was an unbelievable experience.
When you were on the Late Late, you said that great motto, which is,
if you can't stand up, stand out.
where did you come to that? Because it just really hit people and inspired people.
Yeah, I was inside in intensive care, me and my mum. It was during the week, and I was saying to my mum, will I ever stand up again? You know, it was obviously going through my head constantly. And my mum goes, well, you're standing out anyway, Ian. And then I kind of said, that kind of rhymes. Then that's where it came from. Said it, then I was like, right, mum, if I can't stand up, I'll stand out. So that's basically where it came from.
Explain the whole thought process behind that amazing sentence.
Yeah, I suppose it's just another thing I've kind of thought to myself, what came from that sentence. But actually, I was outside there listening to your interview with my cousin, and you were saying something about, you were talking about a lot of people looking up to me. I kind of clicked in my head. I was like, you don't have to be able to stand up for someone to look up to you, you know? And I'm just kind of trying to help as many people as I can. And even if I'm not standing up, I can still kind of help people through my words. That's what I want to do.
Speaking of your words, you have a whole social media following and you have your podcast. So people want to hear what you have to say. Do you find that?
Yeah, you know, the support as well. People messaging me from all around the world, like India, America, it's crazy. It was kind of after Late it took off my social media, and I'm kind of sharing my day-to-day basis as much as I can. And then I started with the podcast there recently, and I've two episodes out already, and I'm moving into my new house now in 2 weeks, so I'm kind of going to make a bit of a studio if I can, and start the summer now, start more giving out more information, and I have a few people lined up to come on it as well. So hopefully that'll happen as soon as I move in and keep the good message going out. And
So lots of ambition.
yeah.
How's Conor McGregor? I haven't heard from him in a while, but you have. Go on, tell me about your friendship with him.
Conor!
Hello, Conor.
No, when I met him, it was
When did you meet him? Tell me about meeting him.
the night after the Late Late. Because remember, I said on the Late Late he was my idol, and then I was at a fight the next day, the night after, and John Kavanagh, his coach, he had organised the tickets for me and my dad to go, because he had called into me in the rehab. But I was at the fight, and my dad goes to me, he was like, you're going to remember this night for the rest of your life. I was like, why? He didn't say anything, because there were ringside tickets we had. And then my dad goes to me, he goes, Conor McGregor's over there. And I just said, shut up. Because I had asked John, was Conor going to be there? And he said no. So I thought my dad was only rising me. And anyway, Conor went away then again backstage. My dad thought he was going home. So my dad pushed me out behind backstage as quick as he could. And I seen him walking towards me, and I nearly stood up with the fright. But no, I just burst into tears. You know, when you meet your idol, they go past your expectations. It's hard to describe. He sat down with me for 45 minutes, talking to me about my rehab. And like to this day, whenever I'd message him, he'd message back, you know, and we'd have a few words, how am I doing? How's the rehab doing? If I put up a post of me lifting a weight, he'd text and say, well done, keep it up. And like, he's just a good, like, I know people put out what they see, they say bad things about him. But as cliche as it does sound, he's a good person. He's a nice guy.
It's funny because you're talking about meeting your idol, meeting Conor McGregor, but you are definitely an idol to people because of your positivity, your inspiration, and your beautiful smile. Like, you're coming back to this smile. Do you understand why I say that and why I mean that about yourself and some of the qualities that you have?
Yeah, I suppose. I like to think that I am helping people and that people are looking up to me. Because again, going back to the messages I'm getting, that kind of makes me believe more that I am helping people. So as I said, I just want people to keep looking up to me. I just want to help as many people as I can. People that are sick, going through hard times, going through what I've gone through. Like, a person texted me there last week and they were like, thanks for the messages you're putting out, because my brother had the same injury as you and he didn't express how he was feeling. So now that I know how you were feeling and how you went through it, I know how he's feeling, and I can talk to him about it. So that's obviously nice to hear.
Talk me through your daily routine now. You have Darren as your PA.
Darren.
And you're both taking on the world, really, with all your different challenges and the progress you want to make. So you get up, talk me through your day.
So every second morning I'm up at 5:30 to get ready for school, go for a shower. Darren comes in with another carer at 7 o'clock. They get me up. Then I'm going to school for 9, as happy as ever. I'm in there then till about 4 o'clock. And Darren's with me throughout the whole day. So he's basically like my hands and legs.
Okay, so say you and your friend having a private chat about something. Can you ditch Darren?
I just say, Darren, scoot. No, but he's good like that. If I'm ever with my friends, he'd always leave me. You know, he'd be in the building.
Yeah.
But like, he'd leave me in with the friends. Like Michael that you were talking to a while ago. Like, I wouldn't be where I am today without Michael or Darren, because they just go above and beyond for me. Well, that's the best way I like to describe Darren, is my hands and legs. Because that's basically what he's doing. He's with me all day in school. He's home then. He brings me home at 4 o'clock. And he's with me 5 days a week.
You're doing exercises together.
Yeah.
So what are you doing and what progress have you made?
So basically I'm doing passive movements with Darren during the day. So basically just stretching and stuff. Then I'm going up to Limerick 2 times a week for more intense physio weight training. And I'm nearly able to lift 3 kg now. So like, I've been going to Limerick about 2 months, twice a week. And the progress I've seen since I started going there is crazy. Even like, I'm able to like tense my biceps now. Before, my hands were just, dead. I mean, I've way more movement now. So I'm just doing as much as I can. And I'll keep going there for as long as I can. And I'll try and improve as much as I can.
You know, when you were training for football and hurling,
yeah,
and the coach would say, go and do another lap or whatever, and you're like, whatever. But the determination now that you have to make progress with the movements, are you a different person? Did you know you had that kind of ability, concentration and all of that?
No. Like before, when I'd be at training and the coach would say, 5 laps, I'd be the person that'd go into the toilet. Then I'd join in 2 laps to go. But I suppose it was one day I was in the matter when I actually saw a little flicker in my bicep, because I was always trying. In the bed I'd be moving my shoulders, I'd be looking down on my finger, I'd be saying, just picturing it. Visualization is a lot throughout my 9 months, the law of attraction. It was a friend over in Australia, he's from Killarney, but he introduced me to it. And I've been living by it since my accident. I've been picturing it, and like I'm picturing it, and then I was in the matter, and I seen a little flicker, and I was like, right, I'm seeing a flicker, what more can I have this time? 12 months. So it's just, I've just tried my best to improve it. That little flicker brought on a lot of hope for me, because that I saw that so early. I was like, it's early now and I can see a flicker, so why can't I be climbing monkey bars in 10 years' time?
Your journey through rehab must have taken a lot of kind of mental strength. Tell me about some of it.
There was obviously a lot of mental strength, and I was watching a lot of the stuff, as I said, on the law of attraction. That helped me a lot. And I remember one of my first days, I went there, and like my injury is a complete injury, so like a complete injury, more like they didn't give me a lot of chance of getting any movement at all. And I remember they didn't give me a lot of chance from day one. And then I remember one of my first days in the rehab, I was sitting down with a nurse anyway, and she was feeding me away, and we were going to talk about my injury, and she was like, Ian, you know what, your injury, you're not going to get any movement back. And I felt like telling her to, that obviously would annoy you. And I didn't say anything, I just said, watch me. So in another year's time, when I have more movement, I'll go up to her and shake her hand. Like, that's in my left hand now, but if I'm lying down, I can bring it up to my chin. So I'm always kind of, before my accident, I was afraid for biting my nails, and I'm cutting them every week now. They're so long. But no, a lot of mental strength going through it, and just the people as well giving me support and egging me on helped a lot as well.
You have goals you want to achieve for the end of the year. What are they?
I suppose I want to get on as much things as I can and give my message across in my story. I'd like to meet, Anthony Joshua, the boxer. I'd like to meet him. I want to meet McGregor again, and I'm going to be able to lift 4 kg. My 4 kg is my biggest one. That's what I want. I think by the end of this year, I'll be lifting a 4 kg, and I'll be able to shake her hand next time we're here.
I hope so.
I will.
I believe so. Definitely.
Believe so.
I believe. So the community here in Killarney and Kerry and loads of places have got involved and have talked to you. Why do you think people want to reach out and want to hear what you have to say?
I suppose before my accident, I was not trying to be cocky now, but I was popular enough. Like, I was involved in a lot of things, like football, and I was always trying to help people. Like, if there was old people in my estate, I'd call over and ask them, did they need anything from the shop or anything. And I suppose just being from Killarney, Killarney's a small town and everybody gets around, and I think the fact I was from Killarney and that such a bad thing happened, like the GA community, when that comes together, is crazy as well. Like, there was teams in Cork, there was teams, a lot of teams, a lot of GA people around the county getting involved as well. Like, I was getting messages from footballers and hurlers, and I think the fact that I was involved in GA as well, that's why they kind of helped me. And I just think, being from Killarney, it's a small town and everybody kind of gets behind each other when something bad happens. And
what do you want to say to people who are looking at this? What is the message that you want to get out there?
I suppose, obviously, words can't describe how much I am thankful to the people. I wouldn't be where I am without you. And it's just crazy, like, even my family, how far out people, my family, how thankful they are as well for the people that are doing fundraising and everything. I wouldn't be here where I am, and in the future I'm going to hope to give as much back to the town of Killarney as I can.
I think for me, sitting here just chatting to you, I don't feel now, I'm sure there was before, but I don't get the why me. You don't seem to question. I'm sure you have, but you don't seem to.
I suppose the early days I was obviously saying, why me, why did this happen to me? But like I said before, I'm not crying isn't going to make me get up and run around the place again. So, as I said, you kind of just have to roll with the punches and just get on with it. You can either curl up in a ball and stay under the bed cover, or you can get up, or sit down in my case. You can take on the world from a sitting position. Like I said, you don't have to be able to stand up for people to look up to you. So just get on with it. And
this is one man who's definitely taken on the world. A pleasure to meet you, Ian.
Thanks a million.
Thank you for listening to Be Yourself Podcast Episode 3. If you have any questions you would like to ask me, you can find me on Ian O'Connell 321 on Instagram. Until next time, I'm Ian O'Connell. Thanks for listening. You don't have to be able to stand up for somebody to look up to you. Be yourself, and if you can't stand up, stand out.